Welcome to This Is the Day with me, Bo Chansey, and...
Johanna Beachy.
What?
You took the words right out of my mouth.
What?
I'm gonna say it too, okay?
Okay.
Welcome to This Is the Day.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you wanted to do it or not. We didn't ask. I didn't ask.
We didn't ask, no. But there's no harm in two people doing it.
There is not.
I mean, two people can say welcome.
Just usually I give deference to you.
Well, that's okay. I usually take it.
I know. Whenever Johanna, okay, yeah, sure.
Sure, just go for it.
Do that. I trust you implicitly.
Oh, dear.
That's a good thing, I
hope
guess.
so.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Not that you're faultless.
No. We've established that already on here. That is a known thing now. Johanna's not faultless.
I think people forget, though.
That's a relief for people to know that.
I think people might forget.
We'll remind them.
I know. You're pretty awesome, though. Hey, a Wednesday edition, and
yes.
We're so glad to get to share a little bit of this Wednesday with you. And hey, who's this? Come here, Griswold. You guys want to say hi to Griswold? Come on, jump up. There he is. Welcome to This Is the Day with Griswold.
He wanted to say welcome too.
Yeah, we wanted he's like, you guys left me out.
Oh, yeah. Never, Griswold.
No, we got you, pal. You a good boy. Okay. So you ready to jump right into this bad boy?
I sure am.
All right. We got a verse of the day.
It's always exciting.
Verse of the day. It's from Romans chapter 8, verse 15.
Okay.
It says, the spirit you received does not make you slaves so that you live in fear again. Rather, the spirit you received brought about your adoption to sonship. And by him we cry, Abba, Father. I'm going to read it one more time. The spirit you received does not make you slaves so that you live in fear again. Rather, the spirit you received brought about your adoption to sonship, and by him we cry, Abba, Father. All right, Johanna, what jumps out at you there?
There's so much good stuff in here, but there's one word that does jump out to me, and I'm still kind of processing why, but the word again.
Okay.
That word again is jumping out to me. I think because of that, like, you are not going back to, so it's like establishing the fact that you were slaves at one point and you were living in fear at one point, but you don't have to go back to that again. Like, you were that way at one point, but that's not something you have to be again. It's like you are brought out of that and don't have to return. That is really striking me.
Right on.
One of my favorite verses is really similar. It's Galatians 5:1. Like, we are free because Christ has set us free, and then it continues on, like, so we don't have to return to a yoke of slavery again. And this is reminding me of that. I think that's why that word again is jumping out. We don't have to go back to fear or slavery again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
what do you mean we don't have to? There's so many things to be afraid of. Have you seen the circumstances in this world? Have you listened to the news?
I have. Yeah.
But you don't have to.
You don't have to.
I know.
Yeah. And it goes on to say why. Like, why we don't have to, and like what it means to be adopted and be able to call God Father. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, when you got a strong dad, that takes care of a lot of issues. When you have a powerful dad, like did you ever say this one? Probably didn't. This may have been like a Texas thing, or just kind of the way we live. But my dad can beat up your dad.
Never said that.
Never
before.
said that. Ever heard that?
No.
Okay. Well, that was a pretty common thing. Like, my dad can beat up your dad.
Huh.
Yeah. When
Interesting.
When a couple of guys were in an argument, elementary age, my dad can beat up your dad. I mean, whatever we're facing, if we're adopted into the family of God, adopted sons and daughters of the King, and we know him as Abba, like Daddy.
Right.
It's a real intimate, personal father-child relationship. That's the connotation of Abba. We know our dad can beat up any dad of this world. Any of the big daddy issues, the ones that are like, our dad, he's victorious.
I think, so this is helping me understand why the word again jumped out. I've just processed another piece of it too. I think I also like that idea of like he's your like Abba, daddy, like father, like having that kind of relationship with him. That means that you're not in like a fear slavery relationship with him either.
Oh yeah.
And I think sometimes when you're basing things in like a religious way, where it's about like works and what you're doing, that's really fear based because you're always feeling this like, am I doing enough? Am I pleasing him enough? And it's like you don't have to do that because the relationship that we can have with him is like he's adopted us and we can call him father, we can call him daddy. So I think that's part of that too for me. Why that jumped out, the again word in there. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give you one more piece of this that I think is really key. The spirit you received.
Yeah. See, there's so much in there.
Right. So if you have a relationship with God and Jesus is your Lord, then you are given the indwelling of the Holy Spirit, God's Spirit. So his Spirit is inside of us. So the Spirit we receive, not the Spirit we're hoping for or the Spirit we might one day obtain, but not the Spirit that we worked for and got, but the Spirit we received, the gift of God. His Holy Spirit is what transforms and changes us from the inside out. So you have that metamorphosis, the manifestation of what God is doing on the inside, then coming out. And so since we have peace in here and fear is being driven out of here, whatever those external things, we don't have to return again to living as a slave to fear. Which is fantastic because then once fear is driven out and love is firmly rooted in us and coming out of us, well, then we're free to live in that love as opposed to, really fear always is bringing about a death, destruction, chaos, anger, panic. So much like when we're at our worst, at our nastiest, typically if you trace that back far enough, you'll find a fear.
Sure.
That is taking root.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say that's true.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah. Whenever I'm like, whoa, something's I'm not behaving the way that I believe God intends or the way that I know God has created me. So, all right, what's going on here? Well, this person, and then this, and then okay, keep going. Eventually, I'm gonna come to some kind of fear.
Yeah.
That is feeding that.
This is one of those verse of the days that we could spend the whole show talking about.
For sure. Yeah. Well, I think it'll probably work its way and weave its way in.
Yeah.
Okay. So and this is the day we have a calendar.
Corner calendar.
That's what you call it.
Yep.
Okay. And a page a day. So we turn one of these off. This is the top 10 highest paid actors.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's I don't know if it's worldwide or Hollywood. It doesn't give us any more information than that, but. We'll put it up, and you can just take a look here. We've got 10 female actors and 10 male actors. You want to give me do you have a favorite on the list? Anybody you particularly enjoy?
There's a lot of people on there.
Well, there's 20.
Hang on, still reading.
In the chat, you guys let us know who maybe you enjoy.
I mean, the name that jumped out first was Melissa McCarthy because she's hilarious.
She is funny. Very funny.
Like, she can just genuinely make me laugh in a true way. So maybe I would say Melissa McCarthy. But there's a lot of incredible actors on there and actresses, yeah.
There's a couple on the in the male side I'm not familiar with, but I will say that I enjoy, because I like a wide variety of movies, I enjoy all of these people. They're very good at their craft. I am a big Jennifer Lawrence fan. I think she's great. Very powerful actor, and so I do enjoy her.
Yeah, the names that I don't recognize, I am curious if that is Bollywood stars.
I was too.
Potentially. I mean, I'm not sure, but I'm just wondering from the name.
I wondered that as well. Okay.
Yeah. So Bollywood is huge.
Yeah.
Some amazing movies too.
For sure.
Wow. All right.
Okay. So
that was just some factual information about actors and actresses.
Yeah, I guess so. I think that's like what they get paid per film or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's about what I make per episode of This Is the Day.
Right. Yeah, that's our budget.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. And then we also have a calendar that gives us a national day to celebrate. And I feel like this one is right up your alley.
Okay.
Okay. It is Random Acts of Kindness Day.
Yes. I love the random acts of kindness. I really do.
All right, let her rip. I want to know what are your plans? What do you got?
Okay. I found something that reminded me of the Good News from the Field videos that I used to do.
Yep.
Because honestly, there's such good news out there if you just go looking for it. And I found this story of this kiddo. He's a 10-year-old kid in Rhode Island, and we've had some recent snowstorms. And after one of the recent snowstorms, he was like, you know what? I think the next time that it snows, I want to do a random act of kindness, which is random to the person receiving it, but he planned it out. So this kid decided that he was going to go clean off all of the cars of the staff of his local hospital. So in the next snowstorm that hit, he went and he cleared off 80 cars for the nurses and doctors at his local hospital. Wow. Like spent hours out there in the snow, in the cold, clearing off all their cars as a way to tell them, thank you, we appreciate you, like, way to go, nurses and doctors. And I loved this so much. Like, his name's Christian, way to go, Christian. I think that was an amazing random act of kindness. Random to them, but planned on his part.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like they came out not expecting that. It was like, whoa, someone cleaned off my car, but he had it all planned out. He was intentional.
You can plan a random act of kindness. That's where I get hung up with it a little bit. You've helped me there to kind of forget that. Yeah, I want to be intentionally kind.
Yes.
But it may feel random to others.
Right.
Did you know that while you talked about that, you were in a field?
Was I?
The good news from the field.
Look at that. I'm back in the field.
You're back.
I've missed the field.
Yeah.
Wow. But like, you can take those spontaneous random moments when you get an opportunity to be kind, or you can plan them out. So random act of kindness day, do something, plan it out, random act of kindness.
Oh.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Could be today, or you could plan something today for the next time the snow hits or something like that.
Yeah, you could. You could make some notes, but and be kind.
Love it.
Look, a lot of times kindness, it's in you. The Spirit of God, part of the fruit of the Spirit is kindness.
It's true. Yeah.
And so if God's Spirit is in you, there is kindness in you that is clamoring for an expression.
It wants to get out.
And to be
Let
kind.
it out.
And the thing about that is you might be going, well, nobody deserves my kindness. Which, I mean, we can think that way.
We can. But if you think about how you didn't deserve God's kindness, but you got it anyway, then it's like, oh, who cares if people deserve it or not? Just be kind.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where I think life really begins to like blossom.
Yeah.
And starts to flourish and thrive, is where we stop worrying about all the point proving and power plays and everything else, and just allow God's Holy Spirit for Him to express Himself through us.
Yeah.
Because the world could definitely use some more kindness.
Oh, it absolutely could.
Plenty of cruelty.
And we get to do it.
Plenty of cruelty out there. That would be the opposite of kindness, is cruelty. There's a lot of random acts of cruelty going on. I don't want to like overdo this, but I would say that even denying kindness,
like not receiving it from someone?
Okay, that's true. Well, let's come back to that. I don't want to forget that. But denying kindness to another person is like intentional cruelty. Yeah. Like if you see something and you have opportunity and ability to do something, to be kind, and it's cruel not to.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not doing the good you know you ought to do, you're not doing the kind thing you know you could do. Right. Man, you're depriving people.
Now, what if somebody wants to do something kind to you? What should you do?
I think this is a good reminder for me, like, receive kindness from people. Because, like, don't rob people of the opportunity to do that, and to be receiving that from people, I feel like helps you then practice it too. Like, when you know how it feels to receive a random act of kindness, I think it inspires you more to do it for other people. But yeah, don't like, oh, no, you don't need to do that. Because then you get hung up on the, like, I don't deserve that kindness. It doesn't matter if you deserve it or not. Let people do it for you.
Or there's a even darker side of that. I think it's a little darker because it's oftentimes in my heart. I don't need your kindness. I'm fine on my own.
That makes me cringe. But
I can pay for my own coffee, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Give it to the person behind me. Maybe they need it. I'm driving a new car. Do you not see this? Like, I don't know. Like, whatever. It's like, oh, thank you. You know, the Spirit, which it was intended to say, thank you and receive that.
Yeah, that's like that live self-sufficiency where I don't need people or something like that. We all do all the time, so receive it.
It's arrogance.
Yeah.
And it's not good.
Yep.
And then you're robbing somebody else the opportunity of doing something and having the joy of that.
I think today would be a cool, like, reach out to my neighbors day as a random act of kindness day. Like, it's National Random Act of Kindness Day. Let me, like, give my neighbors a note or,
Cool.
So, do something today.
Go for it.
I want people to do something today. Don't just hear us talk, but, like, do it.
Well, my plan is to do like a 30-minute web-based talk show.
As a random act of kindness
That's
for
what I
people
thought
that you had planned out, but it could be very random for the people watching.
I thought that's what I would do today.
Okay, yeah.
Sure. That's all I got in me, Johanna. Have any idea how hard this is?
There's more. You can do more.
I know. Actually, this helps me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely centers me and gets me, talking and being aware, like the conversational piece, and that you guys are listening in to Johanna and myself have a conversation, and knowing that the other people hear this, and that has helped me listen to people. That has helped me enjoy other people. Yeah. Helped me to slow down some.
Good.
And be kind. So, yeah.
Yeah, those are all good things.
I don't know what else God might be doing through This Is the Day, but I know He's doing a great work in my heart. And I enjoy that. And so do the people around me.
Hopefully you do too.
All right. We got more coming from the world of Johanna Beachy.
That's right. There's always more.
I know.
You don't know what it might be, but there's
I have
more.
a pretty good idea. It's time for JoJo's Boom Boom Book Review!
JoJo's Boom Boom Book Review.
Makes me so happy every time I hear it. Okay, starting out with a fiction book. I'm going back to Wendell Berry. I've been obsessed with his books. A friend of mine told me that I had to read it, and she was right. So this one right here I read recently, and I absolutely loved this book so much. It's called The Memory of Old Jack. And it is a day in the life of a man in his 80s, and he's going back and reminiscing about his life. But honestly, Wendell Berry's a genius. Like, it was so captivated by his writing in this. And it's part of his, like, Port Williams series. So I had recommended a book a little while back, Hannah Coulter. It's part of that series. They're standalone. You don't have to read them in any order. But they have, like, characters that are in and out of each of the books, so you get to know them. But Memory of Old Jack, I absolutely loved it. But honestly, any Wendell Berry book, he's so good. So that's fiction. Nonfiction book recommendation for today. Some of you may have heard of this from her very popular Netflix show. This is Marie Kondo's book. She's the, like, spark joy lady, the, like, clean out and organize all the stuff. But her book is called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, the Japanese art of decluttering and organizing. The organizing and, like, straightening up was really interesting, and I definitely learned from it. What I really loved about this book is written in Japanese, but it's translated into English, and I learned so much about the Japanese culture from it, like, so much that she makes it very accessible. Like, here's stuff that we do in our culture that, like, keeps our houses tidy, or just even keeps you from being, like, bought into needing more stuff. And so I really appreciated this book a ton. I learned a lot from it, and I loved it. I would recommend giving it a read. It's very, very practical, but you learn a ton about their culture and how you can apply it to your life in a way that's, like, actually helpful. So I recommend that one.
Sweet.
Last one for today is a kid's book. Alice is super excited about this one. I think it's one of her favorites. It's one of my favorites. My favorite preschool Bible is the Jesus Storybook Bible, and the same lady that did that and the same guy that did the illustrations did a devotional for kids and families called Thoughts to Make Your Heart Sing. I still read this. It's, like, very life-giving devotional for me as an adult, but it's fantastic for kids. So it's not, like, in any particular order. You can just read a few every day or every couple days, once a week. But it's just really great illustrations. I love the illustrations in this one. And it really is just, like, everything that she writes just brings you straight back to Jesus. So this is a devotional for families or kids that I would really recommend. If a kid were reading it by themselves, I'd probably say, like, elementary age or so. But if you're reading it together as a family, you can even start with preschool. I'd say that. So Thoughts to Make Your Heart Sing, Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and Wendell Berry's book, Memory of Old Jack, are the books for today.
Sweet.
There we go. Restore Alice to where she gets to stay with her book.
Every time you said Wendellberry.
Yes.
I thought that was just like the last name, but it's Wendell.
Wendell is the first name. Berry is the last name.
That's the author.
Yes.
Okay. Wendellberry. And I was like,
So good.
it was really, I was really captivated by that. Wendellberry. Like, what a great.
Wendellberry.
I was really into that. And so I got a little distracted going, why am I so into Wendellberry? And I realized one of the nicknames for our youngest, Inslee, is Inselberry.
Oh, there you go.
She's Inselberry.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be a great last name to have, Wendellberry.
Wendellberry.
Like, can you imagine if your name was like Matthias Wendellberry?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Matthias, okay.
I don't know why that just
That's
came
just
out.
the one that came
That's the one that came
What
out.
if it was your first name, Wendellberry?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Wendellberry Johnson. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got like a lame, a
Wendellberry.
normal last name.
I like it.
Yeah.
This could be some name suggestions,
Name
people.
your kid Wendellberry.
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 I actually, so my friend that first recommended me that I read his books, her sister also loves his books. And they just had their fourth kid, I think, a boy, and they named him Wendell
Oh.
after him.
Yeah.
They could have done Barry too, but they just dropped it and went with Wendell. So yeah, the kids are still being named after him.
A great song about Mr. Wendell.
Is there?
Arrested Development. It's a cool song.
never seen it.
I actually think you would really enjoy the Arrested Development song about Mr. Wendell.
Okay, I
Really
might
do.
have to look it
You
up.
have to look it up. All right. You want to play a little Trivial Pursuit?
Yes.
Okay. So good news, everybody. Valentine's is over. That week's done. We're back to the congratulatory Pop Rocks in the Fun Dip box. Hoping to give some away. I'm hoping to enjoy some myself. So we're 6 questions on a card. I want you to guess it all 6. I'm going to
Yes.
guess it all 6. Get all 6 right.
Just try.
Yeah, just try.
Yep.
And if keep track, put your answers in the chat. If you get all 6 right, let us know. We'll send you a congratulatory Pop Rocks from a Fun Dip box. The original 1981 edition of the classic board game Trivial Pursuit and the 40th anniversary. Oldest cards, newest cards, dealer's choice.
Old.
Old. Just going old school. Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Blue.
Blue. Geography.
What are the only 2 landlocked countries in South America? This has not changed since the 80s, so you're in luck there.
Yeah.
So there are only 2 landlocked countries
countries.
in South America, specifically.
Man, I'm really bad at geography.
Well, this might be tricky for you because you
It
need to
is.
answer 2.
I got to give 2. My first guess is, I don't even know, Argentina. Is that one of them?
No.
Okay, then what are they?
Bolivia
Bolivia,
and Paraguay.
Paraguay. See, and
Bolivia and Paraguay.
I wouldn't have come with Paraguay because I got hung up on Central American countries.
Yeah,
in
that's
my
why I
head.
was trying, like South America. Yeah.
Yup.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Well, Pink,
Pink, entertainment.
who was the first host of the original Tonight Show? I don't actually know.
The
this.
first host of the original Tonight Show.
First host of the original Tonight Show.
My answer is Parr.
Interesting. It is Steve Allen.
Steve Allen. Okay.
All righty. Yellow.
Yellow, history.
What British Prime Minister's mother was born in Brooklyn, New York?
Whoa.
I don't know who this is, but I didn't even know that there was a British Prime Minister whose mom was from Brooklyn.
Wow.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
All right.
So pre-1981.
Yep.
Wow.
British Prime Minister whose mother was born in Brooklyn, New York.
My answer is Margaret Thatcher.
No. Winston Churchill.
Really?
What?
Okay. Interesting.
That's an exciting fact for me.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
Brown.
Brown, art and literature.
What philosopher author lived on the shores of Walden Pond?
That,
He did write a book with that title.
yeah, Thoreau?
Yes,
It is Thoreau.
it is. Henry David Thoreau.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Sweet, I didn't get shut out.
You didn't get shut out.
let's go.
And there's still a chance that you could get half right.
Yeah.
If you get these next 2.
Okay.
Green.
Green, science and nature.
What's the hardest bone in the human body? I saw the answer to this first, and I thought that they were going with a Bible story, but that's not it. But that might give you a clue.
Got it. I think, the hardest bone in the human body.
Uh-huh.
See, because I was instantly thinking about teeth and they're not bones.
Well?
So my answer is the jaw.
Yes, the jawbone. Isn't that what Samson used to kill all the whatever
Like the jawbone of an ox or something?
Well, I don't know. That sounded like a Star Wars name to me.
No.
Anyway. Okay. Last but not least, orange.
Sports and leisure.
Who's the youngest golfer to have won the Masters pre-81?
Yeah. Wow.
The youngest golfer to have won the Masters.
My goodness. I don't know the answer.
Very interesting name.
Seve Ballesteros.
Yeah, yes, but you're not quite. The name's a little off, but I think
Yeah,
you have it. Severiano Ballesteros.
Yeah,
Is that, I mean,
Ballesteros.
that sounded
Yeah.
like you were saying that
Yeah,
to me.
that's
Okay. Severiano Ballesteros. Look at that, you got half.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, well, if you
Not
got
all
all
six, but-
I did not get all 6, but if you got all 6, let us know.
Yeah.
We'll send you the congratulatory Pop Rocks from a Fun Dip box.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe a nasty note.
Maybe.
I'm feeling it.
Or a kind one. It is Random Act of Kindness Day.
Let us know which you would
so-
prefer.
Okay, yes.
That would be my kindness
Okay,
to you.
that's valid.
Do you
So just, if you get 6, write 6, and then below it just put nasty or put kind.
Yeah.
That'll communicate all we need to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Want to do a little Everyday with Jesus?
Yes.
All right, our daily devotion in 140 characters or less.
Okay.
Thought for the day says, sin opportunities present themselves in grand fashion, beckoning the sinner to partake. Far subtler are the divine prospects of the saint. And then verse is Proverbs 29:6. An evil man is snared by his own sin, but a righteous one can sing and be glad. It makes me think about your book that you just recommended. What was it? Thoughts That Make Your Heart Sing?
Yeah. Thoughts to make your heart sing. Exactly. That's it.
A righteous one can sing and be glad. I was thinking about, when I wrote this, that this idea of what is my primary core identity, and if my primary core identity is that of a sinner, well, then sinners sin. That's what they do. Which is why I very much adamantly oppose any verbiage that says, well, I'm just a sinner, followed by whatever you might say there. It's usually saved by grace,
Yeah.
I was a sinner, saved by grace, but then God's Spirit inside me, I'm adopted into a sonship where I can say, Abba, Father, I have a new identity. And so that old identity is gone. I'm no longer a slave to sin
Yeah.
or fear or anything else. And so with a new identity that says, okay, well, he has declared by his work and what he's done that I'm no longer a sinner, but a saint. And so sin opportunities, they're still there.
Yeah.
They abound, but it becomes a bit more subtle, like even the random act of kindness. Like, what are the divine opportunities here for a saint?
Yeah, I liked the word subtle in there because I think that's one, like sometimes I feel like people are like, well, it seems obvious to do this. Like almost like if it's obvious and it's like, I don't remember the adjective that was used ahead of time. It wasn't the word obvious, but then the opportunities for like a saint, the divine opportunities
Far
was
subtle divine prospects of the saint. So sin presents itself in grand fashion, beckoning
yeah. So
us.
grand was the word I was trying to remember.
Come,
right, like
here
if it's
you go.
obvious and grand and big, it's like, well, obviously that's. And I'm like, no, like there is a subtle, and it might be subtle. That doesn't mean it doesn't carry more weight.
Right.
Right, like so I don't know. I like that distinction, thinking about it that way. Like just because something's grand and obvious and big doesn't mean it's like the more weighty or more valid than what the subtle thing might actually be the better thing. Yeah.
Or even hanging back and going, well, I just don't know what God wants me to do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Do the good before you. Do the good we ought to do. Be kind and gracious and loving and generous and faithful and patient.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right there, and it's
The fruit
it's
of
subtle.
the Spirit's right there.
Yeah, and it's not often celebrated. It's not like, you're probably not getting an award or a plaque or a big ribbon or a parade for it, but this is what God has called us to, and
Yeah.
there's such an opportunity there to live that
Yeah.
way.
It's a good reminder.
Yeah. And so that's
Yeah.
why as we receive this identity and as sons and daughters, adopted children into the family of God, remember who we are and listen to the voice of our Father and obey.
Yeah, the obeying thing's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, that one matters.
Actually do it. Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's not just enough to just hear, but let's listen and obey.
Yeah.
This is the day.